The sound of discontent. Every 8 p.m, some buildings around the island of Margarita resonate with the banging of pots and pans. It's their way of joining the ongoing national protests against the government. Violent crime, inflation, and shortages of basic goods have brought people like ALIDA out on the street.
The pot has no food in it. I suffer hypertension and I can't get medicine. No one can get a hold of anything. We're going hungry in Venezuela. They put on a summit pretending everything is fine, but we're in a bad place.
Inside the non-aligned movement summit on the same island, the mood is quite different. Venezuela's allies repeatedly back their host, President Nicolás Maduro.
We're witnesses of the growing attacks on the sovereignty of Venezuela. Cuba reaffirms its unconditional support for the government and the Venezuelan people.
The government's called the summit a success, despite only 8 leaders from the 120-country organizations showing up. The non-aligned movement's been losing its luster for a while. It was originally conceived as a way for countries to avoid taking sides during the Cold War, but time has moved on. Many of the movement's shared objectives remain the same as ever: support for Palestine, a demand for more say in the United Nations, and less unwanted interference from larger powers in their own affairs. But there is a recognition that the movement needs to change if it's going to be an effective voice for the less developed countries that make up most of its membership. Presiding over even an ailing international body is still good news for a government being given the cold shoulder by former allies like Argentina and Brazil in a region increasingly turning to the right. And nothing was going to ruin the weekend. With tight security and a show of government support, a tent city of hundreds of supporters bussed in to camp on the beach. But now, with the microphones switched off and the delegates gone, this sound goes on, warning the government that despite the international assurances, all is not well at home. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Margarita.